Good evening, I'm Matt Woodman. This is CTV News at 5. Tonight, Alberta's hospitals minister responds to a new report detailing deaths and near misses in emergency rooms. An auto shop owner describes following a man accused of killing one of his employees during a murder trial. And drivers looking for more traction as City Council explores options to improve Edmonton's snow strategy.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Matt Woodman.
The province's Minister of Hospitals says he doesn't believe a recently released list of deaths and near misses in Alberta's ERs is representative of the state of Alberta's healthcare system. Doctors working in those emergency rooms say the province needs to stop holding press conferences and make changes to alleviate wait times. CTV's Connor Hogg reports.
Alberta Hospitals Minister Matt Jones says the new emergency room at the Peter Lougheed Centre in Calgary will add 97 patient beds and 28 emergency beds to the province's acute care system.
It is an unfortunate reality that sick and frail people do access care in hospitals.
While the beds are supposed to open at the end of February, doctors have spent the last couple of weeks calling for more immediate help. They compiled a list of deaths and near misses in Alberta emergency rooms. Jones says the cases represent a small portion of the experiences of patients in the province.
It's difficult to comment on it both from a privacy and legal perspective, but also because it is anonymous and the sites have also been redacted. But rest assured, we have a process in place whenever there is an adverse event.
I think that emergency physicians have already made it loud and clear how bad the conditions are, how much our patients are suffering. I think we need to find a way to move this narrative forward to what are we going to change?
Dr. Warren Thirsk says the province doesn't understand the toll that ER shortages are having on both physicians and the patients they care for.
When we express what our patients are suffering and we get tone-deaf announcements or announcements that are just, coded over, they tell us it's the flu and I know it's not the flu, then it makes us feel like we're not being heard.
The opposition NDP is asking to call back the legislature early to deal with problems in the health system.
What we need is to ensure that there is one group that has decision-making authority that is making decisions across acute care, primary care, assisted living, and recovery Alberta.
I've met with physicians. I've offered working group meetings between Acute Care Alberta, my department, and the AMA. And all day long, we want to work with everyone to make the system better.
The Alberta Medical Association has confirmed to CTV News that a meeting with Minister Jones is in the works. It says no date is set. Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
The Alberta Association of Midwives says moving a program from Edmonton to Fort Saskatchewan could leave a gap in care. The provincial government is moving the in-hospital registered midwives service from the Royal Alex to Fort Saskatchewan. The program provided support for community midwives. The province says in Fort Saskatchewan they will be integrated into the care team instead of playing a supporting role. The association says instead of moving the program, it would like to see more midwives.
It's a program that exists in Calgary, so it's something that we see has been very beneficial for sustainability of the profession for midwives who are on call 24/7. There is, I think, a need to find ways to navigate the system. Ultimately, what I think really would be the best, though, and I think we are aligned with the government on trying to work towards this, is seeing midwifery as the sustainable solution for obstetric care.
Midwives provide primary care during pregnancy, labor, birth, and postpartum. There are 56 registered in Edmonton. The City of Edmonton says 75% of residential roads have been cleared. However, one driver says a lack of sanding afterwards led her to crashing her car. CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti has more.
Icy road conditions in Ritchie created a slippery situation for Danette Mole on Monday.
I was slid straight towards the front end of her car and, there's nothing I could do. The brakes did absolutely nothing, didn't even slow me down, just boom. And it was really scary for both of us.
This is the damage left on her car, a smashed headlight to a hanging rear bumper. Moulet says the roads were plowed last week, but with the snow melt and freezing conditions, she says the lack of sanding is dangerous.
I'm not sure why they didn't come by and sand after they did the plowing, because I think think they just made the situation worse, unfortunately.
She's not the only one in her neighborhood having trouble navigating the roads.
I watched a neighbor of mine do a 180 right in front of my house a couple days ago. It's happening to everyone.
City Councillor Michael Jan says while it's important to clear the roads of snow, so is clearing them of ice.
We know that when we put down gravel, it can be gone in 45 minutes. One of my colleagues has moved a motion exploring calcium chloride. I think we need to talk about having all options on the table.
The city says residential roadways are cleared with 5 centimeters of snowpack to improve traffic flow, rather than clearing them to bare pavement, adding, while this approach is consistent with our service level, we recognize that the freeze-thaw cycles and snow melt can still create icy conditions, and we ask residents to drive cautiously.
If there are blind corners, slick corners, icy corners, those may be areas where we need a little more love.
As for Mole, her car is going to need more than just TLC after talking to her insurance company.
We're just starting the process, but they'll write it off. The damage is quite a lot.
The city says phase 2 of the parking ban is set to be lifted by Friday night. Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
Edmonton City Council is gearing up for a detailed debate about the snow and ice budget this summer. One councillor wants to explore adding surge capacity to that budget so the city can respond to extreme snowfall faster.
Sure, we can have that base budget, but in the event of unforeseen circumstances, do we have a solid and workable plan that will ensure that in the future we don't find ourselves in the same situation that we just recently went through?
Edmonton saw 3 times the amount of snow it usually does in the month of December. Councillor Aaron Paquette says people have told him they're willing to pay a bit more in taxes for better snow clearing. He's asking city staff to look into on-call contracts for private snow operators, how to clear sidewalks for people with mobility issues, and the frequency of extreme winter weather. The city is updating its rules for developing, using, and protecting the River Valley. The Ribbon of Green strategic plan was first passed more than 3 decades ago. This updated version was done in consultation with Indigenous nations, conservationists, and a range of user groups. The plan sets standards for protecting and restoring natural areas, river access, development, and general land management. City staff and council will lean on the policy when making decisions that affect any part of the River Valley.
We love our river valley, and we all like to use our river valley differently. For some of us, it's a picnic. Others, it's a hike. Some people, it's home. It's very complex to make a plan that serves not just the river valley, but all of the ravines and everything else. But this plan endeavors to do that.
Activities that were allowed under the old Ribbon of Green policy are still allowed under the new one. One priority for River Valley advocates is to complete the 100-kilometer trail system stretching from Devon to Fort Saskatchewan, which is about 75% complete. A warning today about potentially unsafe ice after a recent warm-up. Mounties say ice surfaces with moving water underneath, like lakes, rivers, and storm ponds, could be dangerous, whether you're walking or driving. It says to obey signs near ice surfaces, which can indicate whether conditions are safe. RCMP say if the ice has cracks, it is not safe, and ice color is also important.
And once you're over the water, you want to look at the color. So blue ice is very strong ice. White ice is about half that. That's refrozen ice. And then if it's got a dull grayish color, that is not safe ice. That means it's saturated with water. It's not going to be very strong.
When it comes to ice thickness, RCMP say 8 inches is sufficient for walking on, 10 inches is enough for ATVs, and 12 inches is safe for a vehicle. Josh, I know there's going to be maybe a little bit of snow tonight. We won't be talking inches, though.
No. We saw a little dusting last night, and if we get anything at all this evening, it'll be similar amounts. 1 degree in Edmonton right now, as temperatures have just in the last couple of minutes here slipped above 0. So -1 was the daytime high. You can now update that, take away the minus sign there. +1 for a high. -6. Your morning low, that's on par with the average highs for this time of year. That is going to change in a big way in the coming days. Colder air starts to sink in through tomorrow, and Thursday, Friday, well, we're probably looking at daytime highs colder than the average low for this time of year. We'll get to that in a second. First, take a look outside with the CTV drone, and you can see we do have some breaks in the cloud cover. It's been more cloud than sunshine for the bulk of the day today, but occasionally the sun has broken through. It hasn't been all that windy either here in the city after a gusty night last night and gusts early this morning to about 45 to 60 kilometers per hour. We do have wind warnings in effect and some snow squall warnings. It is a stormy night for east central and northeastern Alberta. Not so much here in the city, but where you have this snow coming down and wind has been 50 gusting to 70 in the Fort McMurray area. You can see in the purples here some heavier bands of snow. So there's your wind warning for the areas in green, gusts 70 to 90 kilometers per hour tonight. This is the warning for snow squalls in the dark pink zone, and I think this light pink zone here further to the south. As those bands of snow push further south, you'll likely see that upgraded to a warning from a watch. Here in the city, as Matt said, maybe a couple of snowflakes. For the most part, though, just mostly cloudy skies overnight tonight. Temperatures falling, -12 tomorrow morning and a high of just -8, with wind chill more like about -15 to -20, and at times some more gusts on the way. We'll take a closer look at that big cool down for Thursday, Friday in just a few minutes.
All right, Josh, thank you. Coming up next on CTV News, why a woman who failed to collect enough signatures to recall an Alberta cabinet minister is still calling her effort a success.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
You're watching CTV News at 5.
The owner of an auto body shop in Chinatown was among several witnesses called to testify at a murder trial today. His employee is one of two men beaten to death during a pair of unprovoked attacks in 2022. A day he says was traumatic and one he'll never forget. CTV's Amanda Anderson reports.
What happened inside the washroom of this auto body shop is the current focus of a second-degree murder trial. Justin Bone is accused in unprovoked attacks in Chinatown nearly 4 years ago, killing 64-year-old Hung Trang, an employee at the auto body shop, and 61-year-old Bonfu Kwang at his nearby electronics store. Today, the owner of the auto body shop was called as a witness. Anthony Hyde told the court he was in a different building when an employee came to tell him there was an altercation. A video timeline from several surveillance cameras was played. Hyde says 3 employees went with him to see what was going on, as seen in the video. He testified a man was coming out of the washroom and mumbled something about wanting to fight. Hyde says an employee then asked for someone to call 911. It was then he saw Trang in the bathroom area. I saw Hung laying face down on the floor with water flowing, Hyde said, explaining the water was coming from a toilet that had been broken. Hyde says he wanted to keep the man in his sights, eventually getting into his vehicle to follow him. I don't want to incriminate myself, but I made an illegal U-turn, Hyde testified, saying he also called a private security company he'd hired because of past problems in Chinatown. During cross-examination, Bone's lawyer pointed out a few discrepancies between what Hyde said in court and what he told police at the time. The defense asked if he agreed his memory may have faded. Hyde replied yes and no, saying it was traumatic. He agreed he may have forgotten a few specifics, but told the court it's pretty hard to forget something like this. 2 other shop employees testified, one telling the court he and Trang both asked the man to leave. He also recalled seeing what he thought was dried blood on the man's face. The trial continues tomorrow. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Edmonton police have released a new composite sketch of a child that went missing in 1983. Tania Murrell was 6 years old when she was last seen walking home from Grosvenor Elementary School for lunch. That was 43 years ago today. Family and friends reported her missing when she did not make it home. Police have released sketches of what Murrell may look like today at age 49 in hopes of finding new tips. They say the sketch was created using photographs, known physical characteristics, modern forensic techniques, and discussions with family. Edmonton police say Murrell is the service's only outstanding missing child case. A petition to oust Education Minister Dimitrios Nikolaides did not garner enough signatures in time. Still, the Calgarian behind the petition considers it a success. Jenny Yaramy brought a box of signatures to the Elections Alberta office in Edmonton this afternoon. She says nearly 7,000 signatures were collected. More than 16,000 were needed, though, to trigger a recall vote. That's 60% of the number of votes cast in Nikolaides' riding of Calgary-Bow in the most recent provincial election. Tomorrow is the deadline.
This is, to me, a tremendous success. 6,800 or call it more than 6,500 signatures doesn't tell our education minister that his constituents have an issue with the way that he's leading us. I don't know what will.
The petition was first of 26 launched against members of Alberta's legislature in the final months of last year. The next deadline is February 3rd for Airdrie East MLA Angela Pitt. Nicolaides was part of a group that reached the top of Mount Kilimanjaro. It was part of a fundraising effort called Melanie's Ascent. It honors Dimitrios Nicolaides' sister, who was killed by her estranged husband 2 years ago. It took the group 8 days to reach the peak at more than 5,800 meters. They also reached their fundraising target of $300,000 to help women facing domestic abuse. Still to come tonight on CTV News, an Alberta researcher helps create new screen time recommendations for kids.
Kids' digital lives are really shaped not just by families, but by schools.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
A$AP Rocky is coming to Edmonton in July in support of his new album. The rapper performed on Saturday Night Live this past weekend. His latest album, called Don't Be Dumb, is his first in 8 years. His tour kicks off in Chicago at the end of May. His Edmonton performance is scheduled for July 3rd at Rogers Place. Tickets go on sale next Tuesday, January 27th. Josh, a pretty mild day out there. Unfortunately, it might be our last one for quite some time.
You want to just skip right past A$AP Rocky?
Yeah, could I? Yeah.
Take a look outside right now. It is fairly mild. I know it says +1 there on our screens. That's coming in from our graphics providers. I just looked at the Environment Canada, the actual Environment Canada data, and the warmest I see in the last 6 hours is -0.5. So we'll try to get to the bottom of this. Either way, we're around the freezing mark as you look through the River Valley Skycam, brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed right over, it's free. Mostly cloudy skies out there. It's -2 in Slave Lake as well as Grand Prairie, -5 in Fort McMurray. And the wind has died down compared to where it was over the past couple of hours. Past couple of hours, you've had gusts in the 50 to 70 kilometer per hour range. Sustained wind was up around 40 to 50 kilometers per hour earlier in the day today, and that was blowing around all of that snow. You notice the wind is not bad in Edmonton, but the city's not included. Areas just off to the east and south in that green zone could, not all of that area, but could in that region see 70 to 90 kilometer per hour gusts later tonight as the system goes through. I think with the worst of this snow now dropping south of Fort McMurray, there's one pocket still there just off to the northeast. The snow squall warning is going to continue for Fort McMurray, but the worst of this is now starting to push off to the south. And I think areas closer to Cold Lake, which are right now under a snow squall watch, may see that upgraded to a warning later on this evening, as you're going to deal with some narrow but fairly significantly reduced bands of visibility. There's the snow that was potentially going to roll through the Edmonton area. It's now off to the east of us, so we're not going to see any of that here in the city. Should be mostly cloudy skies through this evening. Tomorrow, it looks like cloudy with a few sunny breaks. Cloudier off to the northeast. A little bit more sunshine there tomorrow afternoon off to the south and to the west. And then we get some clearing from the east-northeast on Thursday as an Arctic high-pressure system drops in. Watch what that does to temperatures. Not bad today in that light blue zone, but look at the colder air, and the dark blues and then the purples and the pinks start to drop in from the northeast. Thursday, you get temperatures in this pink zone in the -20s for daytime highs. I think Thursday, Friday are the coldest, and then that Arctic air starts to get shifted off to the east through the course of the weekend and into early next week. There's a chance that by Sunday, we're already back into the -5 range. I'm going to keep us kind of -8 to -12 Saturday, Sunday, Monday, but there is some uncertainty with that. There is less uncertainty with this warm-up middle to the end of next week. We're going to get back to around or slightly above average and near zero. There's also fairly high confidence in those temperatures there, close to -20 for daytime highs Thursday, Friday. -12 tomorrow morning in Edmonton as well as Grand Prairie. -15 in the morning in Fort McMurray. It'll drop to -17 tomorrow afternoon, about -5 for Edson. Jasper in that -4, -5 range, but at the other end of the province into that colder air already. Double-digit daytime high in Lloydminster at -12. We'll start the day at about -12 and get back to around -8 for a daytime high tomorrow afternoon. And then really cold for 2 days, Thursday, Friday, before we start to dig back out.
Just wanted to get to the forecast ASAP, Josh. Thank you. An Alberta researcher helped create the latest recommendations regarding screen time for children. This new policy statement from the American Academy of Pediatrics is the first in nearly a decade. It finds school-aged kids with too much screen time lose attention faster, struggle in school, and are more likely to gain weight. Teenagers with too much screen time can face higher levels of depression and anxiety. The only Canadian researcher is from the University of Calgary.
So previous guidance largely focused on how much screen time kids should have and what parents should do. And this policy, what's new is it takes a real system-wide approach and recognizes that kids' digital lives are really shaped not just by families, but by schools, by industry design choices, and by public policy as well.
The American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry recommends less than 2 hours of screen time a day. When we return, meet the Edmonton hockey player just named to Canada's Paralympic team.
It was a lot to take in and really, obviously really special.
An athlete from Edmonton has cracked Canada's Paralympic hockey roster for the upcoming Winter Games. Mika Kovacevic will be one of 17 players to wear the maple leaf at the Paralympics in March. Kovacevic has played for Canada's national team since 2018. This will be his Paralympic debut, and it's a big accomplishment for the 28-year-old.
It was really special. Put a lot of work the last 4 years, and just basically my whole career playing, like it's built up to this moment here, and it was a lot to take in, and really, obviously, really special.
Kovacevic is one of 2 Albertans who made the team. The other player is from Calgary. The team's first game is against Slovakia at the Paralympics on March 7th. Oilers forward Leon Draisaitl will miss a 3rd straight game tonight. Vasily Podkolzin is getting a shot to shine alongside Connor McDavid.
One of the best players in the world. Like it's easy game right now for me, and just awesome to have opportunity. Good to be me right now in this league, I think.
Head coach Chris Knobloch expects Draisaitl will return later this week. The Oilers host the New Jersey Devils tonight and have a chance to win 3 games in a row for the first time this season. The Oilers have only given up 1 goal over their last 3 games.
Crazy that we're 2-1 with only 1 goal in that other one, but I would say starts with our goaltending. It's been phenomenal. Giving us a chance every game.
Goaltending, obviously they've made some huge saves and big moments, but keeping the looks that we give up pretty consistent. I think when you're checking well and doing the right things as a team, there's a lot more predictability in the D zone.
Tonight's game against the Devils begins at 8 o'clock. Tristan Jarry will start in goal. The Oilers will also celebrate Indigenous culture during tonight's game. That's our show. Thanks for watching. I'm Matt Woodman. CTV News continues right now.